Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge, and today I thought I'd do a very quick video. And I know I always say quick video and they turn out to be 30 minutes long. I'm determined that not to happen, but a very quick video on the London gaming market, which I've literally just got back from. Look, I've still got me wristband on. So yeah, as I've said before, I like to do these videos as soon as I get back from something, because it's still fresh in my mind. I can still talk about it and hopefully convey how I felt whilst I was there and the things that I got up to. So yeah, London Gaming Market, I think it's a very well-known event at this point. I've only been maybe 3 or 4 times. It's smack bang in the central London, so Tottenham Court Road is probably the closest tube station, I think. But yeah, super easy to get to, especially if you can use the old new Lizzie line, the Elizabethan line. Then it's like super fast to get there. So yeah, nice and easy, lovely day up in London. Not too busy around the area. But yeah, nice to get there. So yeah, we managed to get the early bird ticket. I know there's a limited number of those, but there seemed like to be like quite a few people there that did that. One sort of bit of advice I'll give you: if you are taking children with you, I fell into this trap. It says that under 16s go free unless you're doing the early bird. If you're doing the early bird, you also have to buy any children a ticket as well. So if you're going to go after 11 o'clock, and actually, yeah, 12 o'clock, I think it is. If you're going to go after 12, then you don't need to get the early bird. And frankly, the extra hour that you get, I wouldn't bother. I would just go when it's open doors and you can pay on the door. I didn't find any benefit whatsoever from going in super early, unless you're hoping to get like that one thing and you want to get in there before everybody else. I really didn't see the need. So in future, I will just be going later in the day. But I guess the alternative is get in there early. You can get out early. You can crack on with the rest of your day. So I suppose it depends on what your objective is that day. But if it's to get in the market early, then yeah. So yeah, luckily they did let my son in. Otherwise, we would have got turned away at the door and had to wait an hour to sit around and go in later. But thankfully, they saw sense, saw that it was just a misunderstanding, and let us in. You know, I'd offered to buy another ticket, but they told me I couldn't buy one. So anyway, yeah, we went around. I will show some footage of us walking around and stuff, but there's not too much to show. And I didn't take much footage because I was too much sort of digging through games, saying hello to people, talking to people about stuff, and didn't take too much video footage. But you know, it's what you expect. It's lots of vendors, lots of stalls. I do think they could do with a bigger venue, because it gets crammed very fast. London is full of great places you could host this event, and I don't know why that one's always the same, but as it's grown and gotten more popularity, you would think they maybe expand on a bit, because at points you're shoulder to shoulder to people, and you know, no one wants to be that close to anybody. So yeah, but you know, getting around, sometimes you found yourself a little bit deep with people trying to see what was on the stalls, so you couldn't quite see, so you'd walk around a bit more. But there was everything and anything that you could really think of, from in-box mint graded to loose carts, which is something that I always like to dig through. From every system you could think of, there were other stalls that sold like plushies and little bits of creative stuff, like maybe they were coasters or mugs or other bits and pieces. Something I can't actually show you, but I will try and put a picture or something up, or I'll put a picture of the website up, and that's because the reason I can't show you is because my sons are already using it, which is these little manuals for Switch games. This company does, and I'll put the company up on the screen. They do little handmade, handcrafted manuals for your Switch games, because your Switch games don't come with manuals anymore. And they're really cool. And we picked up the Breath of the Wild and the Tears of the Kingdom books, because they have these almost completionist guides in the back. So my sons are 100% in both of those games, and this allows them to tick off whether they have got all the armors, all the horses, all the Korak seeds, all the other bits and pieces that you can collect. And it's a nice little dinky sort of sized manual. It's really cool. So yeah, it goes in your Switch case and it looks really awesome. So that company there, well, that's first 2 pickups, the 2 books that I got there. But I can't show you them. Maybe I'll find a picture and I'll stick a picture up. So yeah, went around. At first couldn't see an awful lot of stuff that I was looking for. Of course, I wanted to immediately sort of hone in on the Amiga or Commodore 64 or that type of stuff, but there wasn't an awful lot. Did find, if you make your way out the back, there's a few more little stalls, and one of those actually sold some Commodore 64 stuff. So I picked up from him. I'll take you through what I got. So I got Total Recall on the Commodore 64. I actually already have this as a hit squad, but I'm really liking these like small boxes. See, this kind of like, you can tell it's not normally your sort of big box game. This is definitely a small box game. I have a few of these now, and they're just really cool. I just like the way they look. I love the artwork on the front of them. So when I saw the Total Recall one, Arnold Schwarzenegger's best film ever, anyone? I had to pick up this one because it just looks really cool, and I might make some sort of display out of them or something because I've got a few of them. So along with that one, I also got this, which I think is a fantastic game. Maybe more of a SNES game for me than a Commodore 64 game, but it is Smash TV. But again, I just really like the look of it. And again, I do own this as a hit squad, but I just like the boxes. They're very, very smart. Another game I picked up from there was Bombazol, and this was because actually I had my friend Nerdy Sega. I'm gonna get my words out. Sega Zombie was there. I'm just a nightmare. Sega Zombie was there, and he told me that he thinks this is a pretty good game. So I do like it when people give me recommendations. It is one that escapes me completely, so I have no idea. But when your friend says to you, you should check it out, you should probably check it out. So Bombazol on the Commodore 64. And then last up, I saw this was the only disc game I saw in the whole place, but it's actually one I don't own, and one that I genuinely like to own, and that is Tetris, the classic Tetris on the C64, but obviously on the disc, of which, as many of you may know, a big fan of the discs. So the case is a bit broken, I'm going to say that. Doesn't give me massive hopes for the disc itself, but if it does work, we'll transplant it into a new case. Yeah, the inlay is in good nick. It's just the actual case is knackered. So yeah, there's the inlay. It's nice, and the disc. I mean, the disc on the surface looks like it's okay. Like, it doesn't look like it's bent or crumpled. No marks on it. So I've got fairly good hopes it works. I guess we should find out soon. Maybe I'll put a thing on the screen that says whether it worked or not. Okay. All right, next up. And when I did buy those things from him, by the way, I am not very good at this, or anything I do, frankly, but this I'm not very good at, which is like haggling and asking for better pricing. Now, I did try this today. I did give it a go, and actually, with everyone I bought something from, they either did something to the price, especially if I was buying multiple things. You're just buying one thing, not so much. So this guy, I asked for a good price, and he said, I can't do it on the price, but I can give you one of these. And he sold these kind of marquee sticker things. So this will look really awesome in the lodge somewhere. So I'm going to find a place for this to go and stick this up. So I really like this. And it's funny because I literally just got one of these, an original one from Arcade Archive, the Hogan's Alley marquee. So this is obviously not an original Smash TV, but it is really nice. And as a freebie, yeah, I mean, you know, it's money off essentially, but it was nice to get that as part of the pickups for the Commodore 64 stuff. Next up, I wanted to get some well, I'm always looking at the Super Nintendo carts. I only collect cart only, or Mega Drive or Master System or SNES. I can't be dealing with the plastic and the cardboard and worrying about keeping them in great condition, so I always just go after the carts. And I picked up two games that, well, one game I didn't know I wanted, and one game I definitely wanted. So the game I definitely wanted was Zombies Ate My Neighbors on the Super Nintendo. So this is a game I've been after for a little while. I've looked at it a few times on various you know, eBays and CEXs and stuff like that. But when I saw it there, it twigged in my memory that I wanted to get it, and it was a good price. And it's absolutely, I know it's in cellophane at the moment, but the actual label is in super nice nick. It's not discolored in any way. It looks like a really good quality cart. So yeah, I was happy to pick up Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And then the other one, I've recently just watched a documentary on this person, on how they got into from sports to video games and how they obviously influenced the whole series of video games. So I wanted to pick up it on the SNES just to play it, and that is John Madden Football. So obviously everyone knows what Madden is. yeah, the documentary is really interesting about his life, his career in American football, and then obviously how he then went on with EA to make this series of games. So just saw that. It wasn't expensive. It's a super cheap game. So I picked it up to have a play of some American football. And sports games on computers is one of those funny things, isn't it? You might not know much about the sport or you actually enjoy the sport at all in real life, but sometimes video game sport games can be really good fun. So I'm sure I will get into it because I probably just will. Next up, we got some big boxed Amiga games. This time I got Sensible Soccer. I don't actually have a big boxed version of Sensible Soccer. So I got the 95-96 edition, and it's in really nice condition. Like no beating up on the corners, little tiny mark here, but nothing too severe. And oh, that's nice. I've just looked inside. I didn't notice this before. So it's got all the discs in that, but it's also got someone's scrawlings of codes and stuff they've got. They're keeping a record of their matches they've won and lost. This is Liverpool versus Torquay. I think that's Torquay. Doncaster, Derby, Liverpool versus Plymouth. There we go. So it's just nice to see some original documentation in these games. Sometimes it's a bit fun. And next up, another classic that I actually don't own as a big box. And I've been wanting to get it because I have the second one, but not the first one. And that is Cannon Fodder. Needless to say anything more. It is Cannon Fodder on the Amiga. And it is absolutely in minty condition as far as these things can be. There's no crushing on the box. There's like little scuffs, but nothing of any note. And it will look great up next to Cannon Fodder 2, which is on the shelves behind me up here. So yeah, didn't have that. And obviously, I don't talk about Cannon Fodder. It's an amazing game that all of you will know. So that's it. Now it's really on to the last pickup, which was the last major pickup. The other thing I wanted to see if I was there was getting hold of a modded Game Gear. I already have a Game Gear, but it's the original Game Gear from back in the day, and I love the Game Gear. It was the system I had. Whilst everyone else had a Game Boy, I had a Game Gear, and I played it every night in bed, like under the covers with the lights, and you had to have the light, frankly. And in the chart, I luckily had the AC adapter for it as well. But yeah, it's a game console that I hold near and dear. But going back to it now is super tough, right? If you go and pick it up now and play one, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and I'm not sure anyone's were. I think I used to fill in a lot of the picture with my imagination, I'm sure, as a child. But it was super hard to play it now. The screen is very, very poor quality. It's not backlit at all, so it's difficult to play. So I was out there looking for a modded Game Gear with an IPS display, and I have one. So here it is. Now, of course, everything else on it looks completely stock, but it has been recapped. I shall turn it on to see if I can give you an idea. But there we go there. So that is significantly clearer. I will put up a picture of this next to my original, and you'll see the difference of the screen. But it sounds great. It looks great. The one thing I'm going to do is actually do a further modification of it and change out the casing. So I like my original. I'm going to leave my original as it is. But this one, I'm going to go full kit and caboodle on it and do the case mod. And well, we'll see if there's any other mods I wanted to do. But when I looked at it, the price and effort to do this yourself, you could do it. You might save a little bit. But this person was being very, very sensible compared to the other people that were selling them for ridiculous amounts of money. So yeah, really happy to have this. It means if I wanted to, I could sell my other one as well. But I think I will keep them both. We'll see. But yeah, really happy to have a IPS modded Game Gear, because I am now going to be playing through a whole bunch of my Game Gear games. When I travel, this is coming with me, and I'm going to get back into love with the Game Gear as I was as a child. So yeah, really, really happy to add this into the Hobby Lodge. So yeah, and of course with that, the guy gave me a game to go with it, so I got Batman. I actually thought I might already have Batman Returns, but it turns out I don't. So we got Batman Returns with it, and I picked up Marble Madness, which is another game that I don't have. I always just buy loose carts. The only thing I do like to try and get hold of is the little plastic cases you can get for these. I do have a ton of them, but I now have a bunch that I don't have cases for. I may be looking into a solution for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for pickups. I mean, afterwards, me and my son went to Warhammer and we bought some Warhammer stuff as well, but that's for a different pickup video, surely. Yeah, that was it from London Gamer Market. Look, I could go through everyone I saw. There was a ton of people. I will forget people's names and I will forget that I met them. But look, it was whoever I did meet, and well, actually, all the people I did meet, not whoever, the people I did meet. It was great seeing you. I'm not very good at going up and saying hello to people that I don't really know, apart from just through watching their YouTube channel. So I tried my best to say hello, introduce myself, and talk to people as much as I could. There's loads of you there, and it was great fun meeting a load of new people that I watch on my screen daily. So yeah, it's going to be a bit weird, and even had some people say obviously they'd seen the channel as well, which was really, really nice to hear. Yeah, I think going forward, that'll be the best part of going to these events, is the meet and greets with people and saying hello. So thank you everybody again for saying hello and being so kind. It was a great day, and really enjoyed it. Me and my son came home talking about the whole thing, and yeah, I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully I'll be around for it. The problem is it's always on a Sunday, and after the summer, rugby season starts up again, and most of my Sunday mornings are taken up with rugby. So that may be difficult for the moment. But yeah, look, it was great night seeing everybody, and I'll speak to you all soon. All right, thanks very much. Bye bye.